have thank you, May. We will have some time at the end for questions, but if you have something that you don't want to forget to ask, just pop it into the chat and we will check the chat as well at the end of our session tonight. And when we have questions at the end, there's a little, you can just raise your hand and it will pop up and let us know that you want to ask a question and we will get to you as soon as we can. We've got a fabulous lineup for you tonight. Joining us tonight, we have Janet Mickelson, who is Louise's sister and board member, Catrin Devonald, Sweet Louise CEO, and May Ahero, who is our challenge leader, who you might have seen a few emails from over the last few weeks. But before we start, I'm just going to hand to Catrin for opening karakia.
Kia ora, thanks Kathy. E te hui whaia te maturanga ki a marama. Kia whai take ngā mahi katoa. Tumaya, tukaha, aroha atu, aroha mai. Tātou ia tātou katoa. So in this meeting, we're here to seek some knowledge and understanding and the purpose in the walk that we've signed up for. Be strong and show respect for each other, which I'm sure we will do. It's a fabulous community and grows, my respect just grows every day. The amount of positivity and messages that we get through the chat is absolutely fabulous, just to, see people supporting each other, encouraging each other, walking together, really embodies everything that we do as a charity in supporting the women that we do. So really just absolutely fantastic to see it embraced as well through this walk community. A huge thank you to you all for signing up. I mean, 50K is quite a challenge. You're not in it alone, that's for sure. There's a community out there supporting, encouraging you. Please do sign up, share, join in with the comments on the Facebook, because that absolutely will get you through those really tough times, those cold and dark and wet and windy nights that are coming up this winter when things get really tough. It's the messages and the hope and that shared community that will really help to get you through this challenge and to keep you walking one step at a time forward. As I said, the challenge itself is no small undertaking, but the fundraising, I think, is possibly a second challenge on its own. Again, not easy. So thank you so much for everything that you are doing. Every cent will be used to support the community of women across New Zealand that we do. So yeah, thank you so much.
That's wonderful. Thank you, Catrin. And now I'm just going to hand over to Janet, who is going to tell us a little bit about Louise and share her journey and story. And thank you so much for joining us, Janet, who's been on the Sweet Louise board from the beginning as well and is still on the board. So really does know the heart of Sweet Louise and where we come from and where we are today. So over to you, Janet. Thank you.
You. No, very excited to be here, and I'm doing the walk as well. I've done it every year, and it's such a great thing to be doing. And I love being part of the whole community of women doing it well, just women, men, everybody, all around New Zealand. And you do feel like it's kind of an achievable thing, and people can give, it's not too huge an ask always to just get a little bits of money, and it all adds up. So no, I love being part of the walk. So I've got all my gear ready to go. May the 1st, I'll be underway. But yeah, I've been asked to talk to you a little bit about Louise and her story. And I think I'll just start with, actually, she was part of a big family. She was the 4th of 6 children, so it was a big, noisy, loud kind of household, and Louise was one of the noisiest and loudest of that. I think you'd have to say that, and I think this is important because some of the resilience and determination she showed with having breast cancer was absolutely part of how she'd grown up. So she had lots of energy. She was definitely the partier in the family. Loved debating. Would have big, huge debates every night after dinner. And yeah, she was loud and fun. So that was kind of her family life. Then she became a lawyer. She started off actually doing an arts degree, and then all her friends who realised how good she was at arguing with them, said, "Why don't you do law?" And so that's what she did. And so she worked in corporate law for a few years, and then she married Scott, who she'd met she met him at, I think, in like her second year at uni, and he did law as well. And they were together about 9 years, I think, before they got married. One of the things that I think is important to note too is that Louise is absolutely one of those poster childs for how breast cancer can affect anybody. She always exercised. She didn't smoke. She's very into eating healthy food and telling the rest of us what we should be eating and not. We had no family history of breast cancer, so I think that that's important. It's for all the people that you come across when you've got breast cancer who say, "Oh well, I expect you probably shouldn't have eaten red meat," those kind of things. It's like, actually, this can hit anybody. So I think, that's just important. So she was 27 when she found a breast lump. And she was only 27, and she was doing her regular breast checks, which not a lot of 27-year-olds would even think to do. But she found a little lump. Everyone assumed it was going to be benign, but it wasn't. So she had a biopsy. It was breast cancer. They did a bigger surgery and still didn't get out of it. So about 5 days later, she had a mastectomy. There was no spread to any of her nodes. So they said, "Look, you should be fine, but we'll give you some chemotherapy. Actually, if you have some radiotherapy as well, then probably your chances of cure are about 97%. So, that was all very kind of good news. However, it was only 18 months later that it came back in her bones, in her sternum. And really, it was the next 10 years. I don't think she was off chemotherapy for more than about 3 weeks at a time. Like every time she stopped one drug, within 3 weeks, it would be back in her lungs or in her bones. And so she'd be back on something else. And she had great health care. She had health insurance, which meant that a lot of things got paid for. But it did mean that, she had to, it was a lot of cost. Fortunately, they had, Scott earned good money, so they could do that. But it did mean that her life was, there was a lot to do with having cancer in it. One of the things about Louise, though, was that she was absolutely determined that having cancer was not going to dictate her life. It was part of her life. There's no denying that. Her life, a lot of her life was dictated by, scans and dates for doctor's appointments and chemo and things. But in between, she was absolutely just not even going to think about it. And she was going to live her life. She traveled a lot. She did another degree in art history, which she loved. She and Scott built a house at Waiheke. She had lots of really strong friendships that she really prioritised. Lots of dinner parties. It's that kind of era when we had dinner parties. Everyone had dinner parties a lot. And, being part of a big family, there was always lots going on. There was two specific things I remember she was part of was she was part of the Friends of the Art Gallery on the committee of that. And she was also really involved with Books and Homes. So even then she was really recognised how lucky she was, even though she had breast cancer, but she wanted to be able to make a difference in people's lives. So through that 10 and a half years, she had her health deteriorated, but she did just keep on living. Most of her friends didn't even know how sick she was because she just kept going to book club and kept going to lunch. But when she died, And, I do remember the day before she died, on her way to hospital, she texted a friend to say, look, can't meet for lunch today. Let's try next week. So I think that was really who she was, just, carrying on, determined to carry on. So when she did die, Scott found her diary and realized that actually every single day she was doing something that helped her feel more like herself, just made sure that she was the things that were important to her, whether it was meeting friends for lunch, having reiki, having massages, getting a haircut, family catch-ups. So when we initially started Sweet Louise, we had this huge big meeting of all her friends and family and talked about the bank that Scott worked with had given us some kind of founding money, and we were trying to work out what should we do, how should we make this work. And we actually decided that one of the things that we could do was trying to help support women and men, when there are certainly men with breast cancer. How could we support people where it wasn't primary breast cancer, it actually come back, but help them live as well as they can for as long as they could. And we would let the women themselves dictate how that looked to them. It wasn't going to be us saying, you must do this, you must do that, because you get enough of that in the health system. But this was like, for one family that, if there was one person where their garden it was really important that their garden looked good, then yeah, maybe we can help with that. If it was that they no longer could help get grandchildren, go for walks with their grandchildren, how can we help with that? So it was really getting to know each individual woman or man, work out, have some great people working for us who could help sort out what their needs were and where Sweet Louise could fit in. And some of that was just helping navigate the health system, because that can be really, really tricky too. And sometimes you have no energy for it anymore. So, so all of that was about how we started Sweet Louise. And I think we've stuck pretty close to those values over the years. I've been on the board since it started. And, we've evolved. We started just with, a few women in Auckland. We've now got all of New Zealand, which is fabulous. We still try and work really closely with people in the health system to work out, what the needs are. I mean, obviously, the last few years have been a lot harder for everybody in terms of the cost of living crisis, trying to feed your children, trying to get to appointments. So, we try to pivot to meet those needs as well too. But I'm incredibly proud to be part of Sweet Louise. Proud to be going out with my Sweet Louise gear on and doing my walking. And I'm delighted that you're joining us tonight to be part of all of this. So yeah, that's me, and that's about Louise. Yeah.
That's wonderful, Janet. Thank you so much for sharing, personally what Louise was like and being a big sister, and really how that legacy of love has turned into something quite incredible. So we're very privileged to have you on the board and really appreciate all that you do. So thank you, Janet.
Thank you.
And I'm going to hand back to Catrin, who's going to talk a little bit more about the work that Sweet Louise is doing today. So over to you, Catrin.
Thank you, and yes, thank you, Janet, for sharing so deeply, I guess, the story and who Louise was, which, as you rightly say, is very, very true still to the values and to what we're trying to do and achieve as a service. It is very much driven by not being defined by cancer and to support women where they are, which is exactly what we think Louise would have wanted. As you say, having Scott read her diary and noticed that that was really important to her, and there's definitely a resilience, a determination, and plenty of energy in the coordinators team, those that are out there supporting the women and men that we do, to make sure that they do meet them where they need and they get the needs that they want. So from having I guess, started, 21 years ago now, with one nurse coordinator sat in the back office of a shared bigger charity organisation, to now having 11 of them across the country, sat out and about with patients where they are. We do support 830 women and 2 men. And I think there are probably 832 different ways that that support shows up, because we really truly want them to live their best life for as long as they can. And our job is to make that happen. And we can only make that happen by things like the walk and the donations and the fundraising that we can bring in. We have no government funding. Every single cent that we raise goes towards the support services. And it is everything that we can do and rally and make those asks and get that funding in. So you really are contributed to something really quite special. So again, thank you for that. Service today, as I said, there's 11 coordinators, and they will each look after around about 100, give or take, patients, and offer specialist support, which could be, as I say, navigating the health system, bringing somebody in to look after their garden, or taking care of a family outing. More recently, hardship has become high on people's agenda. The first question some of the women come to me with is, what's going to happen to my children? And so we will give them supermarket vouchers or petrol so that they can continue some kind of normality and life as is, and make sure that they look after themselves, and continue to get the treatment that we know will make a difference to their quality of life. So connection, community, really core to what we do, both on the fundraising through things like the walk and the connection through the Facebook group, but bringing women together who have the same condition, who know and understand what it's like and what it's going through, and can ask those really challenging questions of each other that you just sometimes can't share with a partner or a loved one, because it becomes too emotional and about the cancer and changes the nature of the relationship. Whereas you can freely ask that in a group of other women who understand exactly what you're going through, and sometimes laugh, sometimes cry, sometimes just not talk about the cancer at all, but just have a whale of a time in other company, which is fabulous. So yeah, and practical help, a big part of what we do as well. Meal vouchers, getting somebody's hair done, lymphatic drainage massages, all kinds of things that we know do make a big difference to women's quality of life, make them feel more human, give them a bit more energy, resilience, and hope to carry on and keep going. So that's where we are today. So yeah, similar ethos for sure, definitely very true to Louise values, but just on a bigger scale and growing. And we want to be here for everyone who needs us. So we will hopefully continue to grow.
Thank you. Thanks, Catrin. It's really amazing and powerful to hear how everybody's fundraising efforts are turn into the services that Sweet Louise provides. So thank you for sharing a bit more about where Sweet Louise is up to today. And now we're going to hand over to May, our challenge leader. So if you're wondering how to set yourself up for a fantastic month of walking and fundraising, May has got lots of tips and tricks to share with you. So over to you, May.
Hello, everybody. I hope you're having a great evening. It's such a lovely time to get together. And, just with everything, we look back from the very beginning. And it was, even if I've been here at Sweet Louise for a little over 4 years now, whenever we hear stories of Louise, you just kind of look back and realize, oh, yes, that's what, started it all. And we're still doing that. We keep to the core of the values of what Sweet Louise represents. And that's why also when we do our walk, when we fundraise, we always go back to our purpose. We are walking with purpose in the month of May. And currently, we've got about 4,700 people, individuals signed up. And the team has been working so hard to try and call everybody. And in my estimation, we've called around 3,000 people, or tried to call, at least left a voicemail, because we want to just keep in touch and find out what was the motivation of everyone joining. And everyone has got a story to tell. They have each their own purpose. You've got your purpose, why you've come to join Walk 50K or why you've come back again. I can see Christine out there. This is your fourth year going strong. So you've got your purpose. You know what that is, and you always hold on to it. And you've got your own story. So when you go out and walk and you tell your friends and family why you're doing this, you keep true to your purpose and to your why, and that will resonate to a lot of your family and friends. So in my many calls in the past few weeks, everyone was just surprised. They put out there, they signed up, a lot of people signed up, shared on their Facebook page, hey, I'm doing this. And they were happily, pleasantly surprised that people have come through to donate, and we're very generous even at a time like today where we're all, economically not as well off as we would hope to be. But everyone is digging deep, and that's really beautiful. But that's because you share your story as to why and what is your purpose. And you'll be surprised other people share that connection and share that purpose with you. So the key thing is to be true, to always remember what your purpose is about, and just share your story because you've got a beautiful one to share. And as a great thank you to you, for fundraising, we've got a few incentives and rewards that we have prepared. And some have been gifted to us, and sponsored. But let's start off with the Sweet Louise merch. So we've got a pair of socks that you can receive when you raise $100, a t-shirt when you raise 300, and a very beautiful, very exclusive medal when you raise $1,000. I hope I had the sample with me, but it has arrived in the office and they're wonderful. They're one of a kind. You can only get it from the Walk 50K This May Challenge. You can't get it anywhere. That I can assure you. But I would just love to share with you the feedback that we got from members, that when you wear those pair of socks, those t-shirts, and some of you may have received caps or beanies throughout the years, or the sweatband. Please wear them with pride, and please, because you deserve it. And the feedback from our members is that when they see you out in the community walking, they feel supported, they feel that they're not alone, and they really feel all the love from the community that we are building. So it's not just about, you know, if people think, oh, we're spending money, the donations. It's really going back to the members. And another thing is that you are now our walking ambassadors. You're working for Sweet Louise. You're raising awareness. People might ask, what's Sweet Louise? Is that like a cafe, or is that something viral? Yes, it is. It is this amazing charity. So now you have the privilege of letting them know what Sweet Louise is about. So thank you so much in advance for doing that. You are our walking marketing. So thank you. So once again, the key to success is letting people know why you're doing this, um, and just keep updating your friends and family, you'll be surprised, people you've not met in many years, they might come back to you and say, "Oh, I might donate to you when my next pay comes along," or they just donate without letting you know. And I have had people tell me, "It's so nice. Someone came to me and said, I might even walk with you." So just keep on doing that. Um, and you might be even surprised someone would be keen to form a team with you. So just keep on encouraging people. You're not asking it for yourself, you're doing it for the women living with incurable breast cancer. Don't be afraid to ask. The only negative thing they can tell you is a no. The other possibility is maybe not now or maybe later. Or the positive thing is absolutely will donate money right here and now. Um, in terms of communications, you will receive from Sweet Louise um, tips and suggestions um, and reminders. In our comms channel would be email. Sometimes the email might go to your junk mail, junk folder. So please have a look. If you can add info@sweetlouise.org.nz as one of your contacts, then you will receive all the emails from us. You might also receive some SMS. And if we get on to the next, I don't know, 1,700 people, you might receive a call from me and the lovely colleagues at Sweet Louise. What else did I have in mind? We've got on the website, if you revisit the website, walk50kthismay.nz, there's a tab there that's called resources. Check the resources link, and there are a lot of things that you can use to help you with your fundraising. We've got some social tiles in there, even email templates for when you want to email your friends and, make it easier for you. We've got the actual words you can use when asking your friends and family for support. We've got email and SMS templates in there. And the other great resource is the Walk 50K Facebook group. If you haven't joined yet, if you search on Facebook, it's the Walk 50K This May group, and it should come up. Um, and if you just answer the question when you request to join, you will be let in. And it's a wonderful community, which I think a lot of you are already in. It's a wonderful community, very supportive. People will be cheering you on, and you will be seeing a lot of positive messages from around the country, lots of beautiful photos of our beautiful country. So I encourage you to join. And if you have any questions or needing support for things like, "Oh, who is this Charlotte that keeps getting the donations of my family and friends?" Please don't fret. Charlotte is not an AI. Charlotte is a real person. It just so happened that when your friends or family donate, if it's taken them a little while to enter um, their credit card details, the session might have dropped off, and the donation goes into the main page. Your friends or family's donation don't get lost. It still is in the system. It just goes to Charlotte's page, which is the main page of the campaign. So easily the team, if you message the team, we can move those donations back into the correct page. You just let us know the person who has donated. But oftentimes, if we know that donations have come from you, it's a self-donation, we can easily spot it and move it to your page. So once again, just reach out to the team. If it says the donation has gone through to Charlotte, um, It's okay. It's still there. Yes, so if you need any help or have any questions, the team can be reached. You can email info@sweetlouise.org.nz, or you can call 0800 793 385. I think that's it for now. If you have any questions, I'm happy to try and answer them.
That's amazing. Thank you, May. You're just like so helpful in sharing your wealth of knowledge and tips about how to keep some interest and generate some interest in fundraising and doing the walk. So thank you so much. And we have got time for some questions. And I haven't but I can see into the chat to see if there's any questions in there. Would one of the team like to just double check? I don't think there are, but does anybody have any questions they would like to ask of May, Janet, or Catrin about the walk, fundraising, Louise, or Sweet Louise and the work that we do? I think everyone's feeling
Oh,
shy. Oh, do we need to do you need to unmute yourself? I think you can just unmute yourself or put your hand up and we can unmute you if you raise your yellow. Oh, is it Christine Johnson? Christine, did you have a question?
okay. I will. Oh, there you
Yep,
go.
great. Thank you. Where is the bank account, please? Where do I tell people to put the money in the first place?
Oh, so you've got your own page. People can donate online if they're using credit card or debit card. But if you need a bank account, we can send you an email or send you an SMS with the reference of to add, so that they can, when it comes to the Bank of Sweet Louise, that we know it's for your page. Is that okay?
Uh, I would just appreciate an email then, just for a bit more info. I'm not
Yeah.
terribly good at, yeah, please.
Okay. I will email you after this and send you that bank account details as well as the reference. And it would be great if your friends and family tell you, I'm going to donate or I have donated, and it is quicker for us to search for it. And what we will do, Christine, is once it is on the bank and you've seen it on the statement, we'll do an offline um, donation onto your page so that it shows on your total on your page.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you so much, Christine.
And we've got another question. We've got a question in the chat from Christine Gardner. Hi, Tabby Cat. Um, and who's just asking, and this is a question probably for Catrin or Janet to answer. Do all incurable breast cancers result in passing away?
Me to answer that.
That would be great. Thank you.
So it's a really good question, and generally we would say yes, that eventually people will die of their disease. However, one of the kind of aims with breast cancer treatment now is that people will die with their disease of it. So a lot of the treatments that are around now are trying to just give people, just kind of to keep it at bay for as long as they can. And there's no real Louise who's became metastatic. A lot of women would be less. So it's probably one of the questions that's a very individual.
I think we must have lost you a little bit, Janet.
Changed anything? So
Okay. I think you did cut out just a little bit, Janet. If I can sort of just paraphrase in that, although I mean treatments make a really big difference these days and are advancing all the time. So what we're seeing at Sweet Louise is certainly that women are living longer. When I first started at Sweet Louise six and a half years ago, most of the women were members of Sweet Louise for around 18 months, and now that's over nearly 4.5 years. So, and that's just an average of lifespan for the people that we support. But eventually, what Janet was saying was that unfortunately, everybody does pass away, although you can live for a really quite a long time and it's getting longer and a better, and it's really about the quality of life for the women and the men that we support.
yeah.
We've got a question for May from Cynthia. What if we don't meet our fundraising target?
Um, well, there's no penalty. We, um, the Walk 50K this May campaign is both a fundraising and awareness raising campaign. We would encourage you to talk about Sweet Louise in the challenge as often as you can through your own channels. And it is the conversations as well that that spark curiosity from people. And it might just be a point in time, especially at this stage. It's not even May yet. You'll be surprised that people will, if they have not seen it, especially if you're doing it on Facebook, it might just be another feed. There's other people that keep posting. So I think what I would suggest is to change your kind of post. So if you were doing a post, maybe the next time do a story or a reel, and don't be shy to ask people directly and ask, I'm doing this. Will you sponsor me so I can help women that have incurable breast cancer? But like I said, if, at this day they're not donating, at least you've let them know that Sweet Louise does exist, and this amazing charity is doing this work to help women with incurable breast cancer. Yeah, there's no penalty. Um, I still hope that you enjoy it and you don't think you're going to stop now just because you haven't had donations yet. It's still early, so just be patient with yourself and with your friends and family as well. Um,
And I think one thing just to remember too, I think is that it all adds up. So, if some people don't raise as much as they hope, but all together as a collective, we're doing an incredible thing that really does make a difference.
Yeah.
Nearly 5,000 people out walking and fundraising. Together, we can do amazing things, and that really does make a difference. So just keep trying and do your best. There's
Yes.
there's no there's no there's no fail, as May said here.
yeah,
The fact that you've showed up at all and is incredible.
I must agree with you,
And
Kathy.
Kelly, I was just
There's a
oh good.
question. Do you do any other fundraising
Yeah.
other than the 50K walk in May? Shall I answer that? Or maybe you, Kathy, are the best person to.
Sure. Yes, we do lots of other fundraising. We apply to trusts and foundations for support. We have other sort of events like the Walk 50K this May. We have one large one in October which is called Sweet October, and that's around hosting friends and family for a morning tea, afternoon tea, or breakfast. And again, the concept is the same as that people would donate to you to come along. We have a series of appeals around Christmas and tax time. We have a lot of lovely people who give a regular gift or a monthly gift of somewhere around, $5 a week sometimes, which is amazing and helps us to plan ahead. And we also receive donations after someone passes away, so a gift in their will, which is another incredible and very generous way to support Sweet Louise. What we don't receive is any government funding. So it is 100% from donations from really just good, caring people like yourself. So thank you so much. Um, and oh, there's another question. This one's for you, May, and it's from someone who hasn't started fundraising yet. And what's the most important thing to do to get my fundraising started?
The first thing maybe is to put your lovely face into your profile. And if you can customize the description to share your purpose in your story, that is the first thing. There are actual benchmarks in research that says the likelihood of you fundraising, of getting donations, is if you put your photo in a description of why you're doing this fundraiser. It's the first thing that you can do, really. Um, I think there's another
There's a
question. Yeah.
there's a great idea from Patrick. Thank you, Patrick, for sharing with us because this is awesome. And Patrick's saying that three of us have decided to go into the community and raise awareness at supermarkets and set up a table with our QR codes in three different towns. And that's just like, yeah, what a fabulous idea, Patrick. Well done. And a good one for others to sort of think about as well, because that does spread out your fundraising to an even wider
Mm.
circle. So good job, Patrick. Okay.
Oh, someone is talking. Cynthia, I think, was trying to say something. Where was that? Oh, no, it might have just been. Were you trying to ask a question, Cynthia?
Yes.
Hello, Cynthia.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Oh, I was just wondering if we're doing it as a group, does the group name come up on my name or is it just under me?
Oh,
Uh,
for a team, yeah.
yeah, so on your page, it will show on the top of your name your team name.
Oh,
So
okay.
it will also show, but also on the team page, on the other hand, your name will also show on the list of people walking on under that team.
Oh,
Um,
no.
yes. So, but um, I would recommend that when you ask for donations, you share your individual page so that we can track in terms of incentives and rewards. But um, all the donations and the kilometers walked will be added in total from all the individuals in the team, and it will show on the team page.
Cool.
Yes, thank you.
And sorry, I've got another question.
Sure.
As individuals, um, how do we um, put our progress up, our walking progress or our running? My mokopuna, my grandson wants to run it.
Yes,
He's
so
15.
So that's great. Great question. You have to sign in to your own page. You will have to log in and put your user and your email address in your password. It will bring you to your dashboard, and then it will have a space there to add your activity. What we can do is, Cynthia, we will send you a link so you can follow the instructions. We've got a how-to hub on the website to show you how that can be done.
Yes, please.
Yes. All right. I'm just trying to write your name so we can get back to you on that one.
Thank you.
Thank you, Cynthia. Oh, there. Yeah. Okay. There's a question from Tina. Is there a particular free app we can download to record how far we have walked? Yes, Tina, there are a few apps that you can download. So there's Map My Walk, and your phone may have your own, health apps. There's Samsung Health, that can also track how much you've walked. And then there's a free version of an app called Strava, where it can immediately link to your Walk 50K page. However, sometimes it might not work all the time, but when it does work, it works great. But if it doesn't work well, you might just have to manually upload the activity onto your page. So there are again a few apps that you can download. So we can send you more details on that one. Oops.
That's brilliant. Thank you. Does anyone have any final questions for the team? I can't see any coming up. But if you do think that you do have some questions, following this session, please always reach out to us. You know, May seem like she's the only one, but there are a few other people working alongside May, helping to answer questions. And we love to talk to you. So call or email, or pop your question into the Facebook group as well. We've got some wonderful supporters in there, who have been doing this for a number of years, who help answer questions as well, which is amazing. So there's lots of ways to reach out. Don't feel stuck on anything. Just ask, and we will certainly do our best to help. And I just want to sort of, before I hand back to Catrin for our closing karakia, just wanted to say once more how grateful we are to have you all here, and to let you know what a difference that you're making. We simply couldn't do this work without you. So thank you all so much. And really, everything that you do, however much you raise, your walking, your fundraising, just means the world to the women that and men that we support. So thank you. And I'm going to hand back to Catrin to formally close our webinar tonight. So over to you, Catrin.
Thank you. Kia tau ngā manakitanga a te mea ngaro, ki runga titena ki tēnā o tātou. Kia mehea te hua a kihi kihi. Kia toi te kupu, toi te mana, toi te aroha, toi te reo Māori. Kia tuturu, ka whakamaua, kia tina, tina, haumie, huie, taikie. Good night, everyone.
Good night.
Thank
Good
you.
night.
Good night.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.